Now that John Harbaugh has agreed to terms with the New York Giants, barring some setback, the head coaching carousel is officially in full swing. So let's take a look at the rest of the league and see where I think some of these vacancies are going to be filled up. Before we get into my predictions, I just want to say I've never seen a coaching carousel like this one before. There's so many good openings available and so many coaches that are qualified to fill those. It's been a long time since the Ravens or Steelers were available for head coaching positions. 18 years for the Ravens and 19 for the Steelers. So just that alone makes this a lot more interesting than other years. You want to make sure there's some good candidates filling up those Tiffany franchises like that. But first, I'm going to show you how I rank the vacancies in terms of how appealing they are to new head coaching candidates. So I'm going to go number one right here is the Ravens. Absolutely, 100%. You have Lamar Jackson. You have talent on offense and defense. That team is ready to compete. You just need the right mind, probably a young mind in there. The Atlanta Falcons, I put them at number two. Yes, you have questions at the quarterback, Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins, or draft someone. Not the best year for drafting someone, but the Falcons, I think you have enough pieces on offense and defense, both young at both offense and defense. That makes that position very appealing. I think the Raiders are a very sneaky, underrated vacancy. You have talent on offense and defense. I know the offensive line was really bad, but you get Colton Miller back and Jackson Powers Johnson. You probably draft someone in the draft, and that offensive line can be back up and running just like normal. You get the right mind to fix that defense, and you draft Fernando Mendoza with the number one overall pick. You'll be just fine. After them, I have the Titans and Steelers, both for different reasons. I think Titans are a little bit more appealing because you at least have a chance at the quarterback. Steelers, you have to start fresh, most likely. You're not going with Mason Rudolph, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers is coming back now that Mike Tomlin's gone. So the Steelers, Titans, I have those next. Then I have the Cardinals. I like the position. It's just they're in a tough division. NFC West, you have the 49ers, the Rams, and the Seahawks you have to face a total of 6 times a year. It's very tough to pitch that team. Dolphins, they have a couple of pieces on offense, but their defense is a mess. The offensive line is a mess. They have a lot of work to do. The Browns, I don't know why they fired Kevin Stefanski. He was a perfect fit there. I don't think he should have been gone. 2-time coach of the year. But Browns are looking to start over. Very hard to pitch that team. So good luck to whoever goes to the Browns. All right, looking at the head coaches, I'm going to go by the candidate one at a time and tell you where I think they're going to go. So we're going to start with Jesse Minter. I think Jesse Minter is one of the most coveted head coaching candidates this season. I think he's going to go to the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're looking for someone younger. He's got a brilliant defensive mind. I think he will be paired with an offensive coordinator to work with Lamar Jackson. I don't think it's just him alone. He'll bring someone over with him. And I think he's going to get that defense back up and running. I think there's so many pieces there. I'm really excited to see what he could do with Kyle Hamilton. He just worked wonders with Derwin James over in LA. So having him with Kyle Hamilton I think would be really awesome. So I have Jesse Minter going to the Baltimore Ravens. Let me know what you think of that one. Chris Shula. A couple different spots he could go here. I definitely think he's going to be a head coach in this cycle. I have him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think, once again, just like Jesse Minter, I think these two could be interchangeable. So I could see Jesse Minter going to the Steelers. I could see Chris Shula going to the Ravens. But I'm going to go Chris Shula to the Steelers. Once again, another defensive-minded coach. They have a lot of holes that need to fill. They're not as attractive of a vacancy as you would have assumed with Mike Tomlin leaving. But he can fix that defense. He'll probably need to bring someone in. I don't know if Arthur Smith is going to stay there as offensive coordinator, but we'll see how that goes. So I got Chris Shula to the Steelers. Next up, Kevin Stefanski. I wonder, a team that might need him. Maybe the Cleveland Browns. Oh, wait, they let him go. I still don't understand it. It still bothers me that they let Kevin Stefanski, one of the best coaches in the NFL. I am really high on Kevin Stefanski. 2-time coach of the year. He was given poor quarterback play every year that he was the Cleveland Brown. He had one or 2 years with Baker Mayfield, and I thought they did fine. Baker's still doing good. But the Browns continue to fail Kevin Stefanski. Now they let him go, and now he's going to be in a better situation because of it. I have Kevin Stefanski going to the Atlanta Falcons, where he can work wonders with Bijan Robinson, that offensive line, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and that defense with Jalen Walker, James Pierce, Xavier Watts as just rookies this last season. They played exceptional football. I think is going to work well in Atlanta. It's a division that he can absolutely win year after year. So Kevin Stefanski, I've gone to the Atlanta Falcons. Next coach I see is going to be Cliff Kingsbury. Couple options he could go. I'm going to pair him up with Cam Ward. He just did a lot of good work with Jaden Daniels. Obviously, this last season didn't go very well as he got fired, but it wasn't his fault. Jaden Daniels was hurt all season. When he was healthy, that offense was humming. We saw they were one game away from the Super Bowl with him as offense coordinator, so he's still got the offensive mind. I think pairing him with Cam Ward might be able to unlock Cam Ward, and I like him in Tennessee, a little less of the spotlight. All right, next head coach, we're going to go with Bill Belichick. I kind of think he's going to go Raiders. Just kidding. Bill Belichick is not going to be in the coaching cycle this season. I just wanted to see if you guys were paying attention or not, but we're going to be moving on. Clint Kubiak. I have Clint Kubiak going to the Miami Dolphins. I think he can work some wonders with some of those skill position players on offense. I do think that Tua is not going to be the quarterback, so they'll figure that out later. But Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle, I think he can try to replicate some of the things they did in Seattle. It's a tough position. I could also see Joe Brady going here, but I'm going to pick Clint Kubiak getting this job in Miami. All right, Matt Nagy. So I see Matt Nagy going to the Cleveland Browns. I see this as one of the last positions being available, and whatever coach is going to want the Cleveland Browns is probably who they're going to take. And Matt Nagy's been wanting to be a head coach for the last 3 years since he's been gone from Chicago. It might have been 4 years by now, but it seemed like a long time. I think Matt Nagy will take another chance at head coaching, no matter where it is. So if Cleveland's the last one available, I think he'll get that job. Mike McCarthy. A lot of people forget that Mike McCarthy is still a candidate out there. Some teams might be looking at him. I'm going to pick the Arizona Cardinals for Mike McCarthy. Like I said, I do like Arizona as a team. I think they have a lot of pieces to be excited about, but you're in the division with the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. That's not an easy pitch to make, like I said earlier. So I think Mike McCarthy will take it, try to bring stability to the offense, and just a veteran coach. You know, you can't go wrong after a couple of failed coaches with Cliff Kingsbury and Jonathan Gannon. So, and my last one, Robert Saleh. I'm going to put him in Las Vegas. I think they need a complete culture shift. I think he can build that defense back up. Like I said earlier, the Raiders' offensive line can be fixed pretty quick. I think just getting healthy and drafting one or two players on the line can fix it. You already have skilled position players with Genty and Bowers. Just get Fernando Mendoza comfortable, fix that offensive line. It shouldn't take too hard to do that. And the Raiders will be a pretty appealing job. I think this will be a Tom Brady hire. I like Robert Saleh to the Las Vegas Raiders. So that's how I see the head coaching vacancies shaping up this year. Let me know in the comments, where was I wrong? Do you not think Mike McCarthy had any chance of being an Arizona Cardinal? Do you think I'm way off on Kevin Stefanski going to the Falcons? Robert Saleh to the Raiders? Is there any chance of that happening? Probably not, but it's my predictions. So let me know in the comments what you think. Now we're moving on to offense and defensive coordinators. A lot of these positions are now vacant because they moved up to head coaches, for example. So first one we're going to go is Raheem Morris. I think he goes back to LA with Sean McVay after the fail in Atlanta. Brian Dable, I don't think he'll be a head coach again, at least not for a while, but I think he'll stay in the NFC East and he'll go to Washington to work with Jaden Daniels. Hopefully he teaches Jaden Daniels to get down. Zach Robinson, I'm going to put him in LA with the Chargers. Zach Robinson, I think he'll replace Greg Roman. I didn't think Greg Roman was at fault for last season. I think the offensive line injuries just plagued the whole team. It's not his fault. He wants to run the football, but he can't if he doesn't have an offensive line. So I think Zach Robinson is going to get the position here. Not in any inside sources. It's just my prediction. So we'll see if that goes well. Jonathan Gannon, I'm going to put him in San Francisco as a defense coordinator for the 49ers. Stay in the NFC West. Once again, this is just my prediction. I don't have any inside track on whether he's leaning one way or another, but I do think he'll get back on his feet as a defense coordinator somewhere. Now, this name I'm probably going to butcher, but it's Nate Shilassi. Completely butchered that, but he is a young passing game coordinator for the Rams. All I know is he's due. He's going to be the next Sean McVay tree. So I don't know how to say his last name, but I have him going to Seattle to replace Clint Kubiak as offensive coordinator. Here's a big one. Mike McDaniel, I have going to the Detroit Lions to be the offensive coordinator. I think he's going to take a gap year from head coaching. I think he's going to rebrand himself. He's going to fix the Detroit Lions offense. You never want to be the guy to replace the guy. You want to be the guy to replace the guy that replaces the guy. In that case, Ben Johnson is the first guy. So I think Mike McDaniel is going to fix what did not go right in the first year without Ben Johnson. So really excited to see what he could cook up with Jahmyr Gibbs in that Detroit Lions offense. And I think after a year of successfully turning around the Detroit Lions offense, I think he'll go back to head coaching in 2027. Joe Brady, he definitely has a chance to be a head coach somewhere. He's interviewing with the Dolphins, I think, but overall, I could see if the Bills lose in the playoffs, he could get fired because they got to have a fall guy of some sort. So I see Joe Brady potentially out in Buffalo. I could see Joe Brady moving laterally to the NFC, and I have him with the Philadelphia Eagles trying to fix that offense. And then last but not least, Brian Flores. I have Brian Flores leaving Minnesota to go to Dallas, be defense coordinator, and get the bag. He's going to get paid so much money if he wants to go to Dallas, fix that defense, and get the Cowboys back to the playoffs. I think Brian Flores would try to be a head coach. I think he absolutely is capable of being a head coach. But with the lawsuit with the NFL, I think a lot of teams and owners are going to hold off a little bit on Brian Flores. I think a couple more years away from the lawsuit, I think he absolutely could be a head coach. But I think he takes the money and becomes Dallas's defensive coordinator after the failed experiment with Matt Eberflus. So that's my full coaching cycle predictions. I think it's going to be a wild couple of weeks here while they figure this all out. But I cannot wait. I love seeing new head coaches and different vacancies being filled. So let me know in the comments what you think. I'll see you in the next one.